Hello YouTube, this is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. Today is a Starcraft 2 tournament qualifying match between the Terran MarineLord in the top here and Petraeus, the Zerg, on the left side. Now this is on Catallena Ellie, which is a 3-player map, which means neither of these guys know where the other one is. As far as Terran knows, Zerg could be on the left side, he also could be down here in this kind of right center base. And the same thing goes for the Zerg. Terran could be up there or down on the right side base. So, as you might be able to tell, I was able to pick up a new microphone. I purchased it off of Amazon. I had it recommended to me as being good for casting. And I'm still trying to fiddle with the sounds. Let me know if the P's sound good. I do have a pop filter on the microphone, but I'm not sure if it's working or not. Also, let me know if the sound effects for the music are good. They need to be turned up or down. Or if there's any other annoying problems you might run across, because this is a new setup. I've spent some time getting it to work, but not entirely sure how it's going to come out on the other end for YouTube. So here we are with MarineLord, content to make SCVs. His barracks is going down at 11 supply. Zerg likely going for the 15 hatchery, as is safe to do against Terran. And we do have the gas being taken by MarineLord at this point. Likely going to go into a factory play with some harassment, either with Reapers or with Hellions. Yep, there goes the spawning pool. Oh, interesting. So Petraeus did go spawning pool first against MarineLord. I'm wondering if he knows something that I don't. Maybe MarineLord's timings are a little bit more quick than your average Terran player, in which case you do want to have those Zerglings and Queens out a little bit sooner than if you go 15 hatch. So looks like it maybe went 14 pool, 16 hatch, which is not as much of a macro build, but it is safer against that early harass. So the Overlord is pushing out, trying to scout out the natural base of the Terran player. The SCV comes down to this middle base just to see if he can see where the Zerg is, recognizes, nope, no creep spread. My opponent is not there, he must be on the left side, and he'll probably just head home, having done his job identifying where the enemy is. 2 Reapers are being created by MarineLord. They are being set their rally point all the way across the map, or they were, there it is, all the way across the map to where he knows the Zerg player must be, up to the main here. But there is a Queen building in the main, and yeah, should be out here in time to defend against these Reapers. So maybe this is just a matter of Petraeus knowing MarineLord well, knowing maybe he gets out his harassment units a little bit sooner, or maybe he just wants to be more careful than the standard Zerg play against this harassment. The Reaper does catch these 2 scouting Zerglings that do not have speed yet. They are chased down and killed quite easily. The Reaper now has 2 kills. He's going to jump up into the main, but a Queen is ready and waiting for the Reaper. Gets a few hits off. The Reaper knows he can't survive long and escapes. Notices that the natural expansion just finished, so recognizes the later timing on the hatchery. Another Reaper is coming out, as a second one is coming across the map to make a total army of 3, which might be difficult for the Zerg to handle, I'm not sure. He is making some Zerglings and 2 more Queens, as well as a drone, so doing a good job balancing his economy and his army in the face of this harassment, which is something I definitely need to work on. When I'm under attack, I generally just like to make army units and don't make any drones to macro up behind it, unfortunately. So this Queen is getting off some damage on the Reapers. They're forced to retreat. Looks like they might want to meet up with their buddy who's coming across the map there. Combat drugs are kicking in as they heal up from that Queen assault. The third Reaper comes in. We have a factory being built. We have a reactor coming down on the barracks, and a command center being built as well. So behind all this harassment, MarineLord is planning on expanding, so that's good. There are 2 Queens at the front of the expansion. They are enough to push off this Reaper attack, trying to get this creep tumor down to spread the creep out, greatly increasing the effectiveness of these Queens as they try to move out across their area to defend against these guys. In the meantime, the spawning pool is researching metabolic boost to make these Zerglings more effective. It looks like Petraeus is trying to take a 3rd base. These Reapers are not interested in letting that happen. Their attack is not great against buildings. They removed an attack that was good against buildings in an earlier patch a long time ago, but it is enough to force the cancel on the hatchery and attempt to rebuild. And instead of assisting, these Zerglings are just going to run up and try to scout the front. So the cancel does finally officially happen. The third base is delayed. The Reapers, having done their job, will head home. These Zerglings are interested in trying to take down the front door of the Terran. They're bashing on the supply depots, forcing the Hellions to come back and defend, which means less time the Hellions have to attack the Zerg base. So, good job, Zerglings. You did your job as well. Everybody's doing a good job with harassment today. The second command center does go down in the expansion with a mule and several SCVs transferring. That should be a nice boost to the income of MarineLord. The third base is going down for Zerg. A third command center is going down for MarineLord. Probably lift that up and land it right here. As Terran, you do want to expand towards your opponent, as your reinforcing units don't have as far to go. So now we have a small light mech harassment army moving out with these Hellions and these Reapers. In response, there is a baneling nest going down. We have roaches being built for Petraeus. This group is interested in taking out that queen. A second queen comes up to throw transfuse and prevent her friend from dying, but unfortunately goes down anyway. A second queen comes into the mix, and a third queen comes into the mix, along with some roaches. That should be enough to finally push off this attacking mech harassment unit, and they do. Just waiting for this hatchery to finish and spread the creep a little bit more, giving the queens more effective range to help with the defense. So this group heads on home. They tried to deny the third base. They weren't quite able to do so. This orbital command is just making SCVs, trying to saturate that natural expansion as quickly as possible. We have banelings being built on the high ground. Zerglings coming up the front to check for the presence of widow mines. They do not see any, so one very brazenly makes a baneling at the very bottom of MarineLord's ramp. Some roaches are coming in to assist with this attack. Slow banelings moving right up the ramp. They're going to try to kill this bunker as quickly as they can, and they do take it out. They see more bunkers in the back. They want to take these out as quickly as they can as well. The second bunker goes down. The roaches focus on the third bunker, and it dies before the SCVs can repair it. And we have Zerg units flooding into the natural, doing a lot of damage to MarineLord's economy at this point. They force all mining to stop on that second base. They force everybody back into the main. So at this point it is basically one base Terran against two, soon to be three base Zerg, which is not a spot that any Terran wants to find themselves in, especially not in a qualifying tournament game. So we bring the command center back up into the main, just producing mules and SCVs as much as possibly can. Two Zerglings poke up the front to see what they're dealing with. There are no widow mines, which means the banelings are free to come in and take down that wall. But they don't get very good hits off on the Hellions, unfortunately. And the roaches are not interested in sitting in that alleyway getting picked off, so they head home. So right now supply is 78 for the Zerg and 56 for the Terran, which is a good spot for the Zerg to be in. Saturating the third base. Trying to spread that creep, doing a good job with that. Two more creep tumors going down. Looks like we are producing more drones. We're upgrading to a lair. The Terrans making Marines, getting infantry armor level 1 and infantry weapons level 1, which is very good against Zerg. Pretty much any infantry upgrades are going to be great against Zerg. 3-3 Marines are super terrifying for anything that Zerg can do. So now we have our small harassment army moving out, being supported by some Marines with 0-0 upgrades, but again the 1-1 is being researched. We're trying to wall off against any further attacks using the supply depots. We have some mules going down on this expansion, and again just more SCVs being made from this third command center. I don't know if MarineLord doesn't feel safe to move down here to the third base or what, but he's taking his time with that. More drones transferring over to the third. The creep is spreading, doing a good job again. Hellions moving along the middle and the top lanes of the map with some small Reaper support, just probably trying to see where the creep is. We'll probably see some scans to take out some creep tumors to assist with the assault on the third base or the natural, depending on where he wants to go. Upgrades are coming from the Zerg. We have Carapace as well as attack for ground units, which can be handy and allows Zerglings and Banelings to survive more attacks from the rage units before they die, which is pretty nice. This Overlord is perched at a perfect spot, I'm going to guess, to where he cannot be seen by the Terran. That is correct. Pretty nice, doing some scouting there. Anybody that comes out the front door is visible. And we have some medevacs coming to support this attack, and some bio moving up as well along the top lane. I'm going to assume we're going to see a scan here and try to take out some of this creep. We do. just to remove the advantage that Zerg has on this creep with the speed advantage for all the units. Zerglings sweep around the backside, trying to catch this army and prevent them from running away. More Marines come up to support. The Terran army is in full retreat. Banelings hit everything. And the Marines that are left are forced to lift off and head back towards the safety of their third, which has come down eventually. But they're being chased down by these Zerglings, who do not quite have the 1-1 upgrade yet, but are still, fairly effective against small groups of Marines. Banelings just got the speed upgrade. They're moving in. They get taken out by the range attack of the Marines and the Marauders. The Overseer dies. And the remaining Roaches decide this is not a good fight, and they retreat. The Zerglings did get some hits off on this command center, though, dropping it down to about 1100 health out of 15. I assume MarineLord will repair this, as it is right at the front lines, and he cannot afford to lose it at this point. A fourth base is taken by Petraeus. He does have a supply lead of 128 to 105. Doesn't have any gas on that fourth base. Does have both the gases on everybody else, though. Injects look like they're not doing too... Oh, they're actually doing really well. We're at 30... Yep. 30 energy on that queen for the inject, which is awesome. A small counterattack of Zerglings is coming up the right side. They might be turned into Banelings trying to bust this down, or they might just try to run in, considering that supply depot is down. A huge army, well, fairly big army for this game anyways, coming up of Marines, Hellbats, and Widowmines supported by Medivacs. The Zergling attack gets right into the natural. They are going after SCVs. These Widowmines do burrow. They're going to do their best to kill these SCVs without killing too many of their own men, and they do kill SCVs, or Zerglings, but might have actually killed a bunch of their own stuff as well, so not super great hits from the Widowmines, unfortunately. This attack is forced to retreat. It is cleaned up fairly well by Petraeus. Combat Shield Marines with 1-1 are interested in heading somewhere, I just don't know where. That front door is still open to another Zergling counterattack, so we'll have to see if Petraeus is able to take advantage of that. A medevac group is heading across the map with Marines and nothing but Marines to the front lines. Zerglings and some few Mutalisks and Overseers are here to try to take out this army, with the Widowmines ready to explode upon the slightest provocation. We have more Banelings coming in as Petraeus recognizes the heavy composition of Marines. They split backwards. Pretty good splits from MarineLord. Not many Baneling hits are fantastic there, and a large group of Marines is left, moving right in, trying to take out this third base, trying to get on economic footing that is equal with the Zerg, but unfortunately back home there's another Zergling counterattack, came right through the front door, taking out supply depots, taking out so many SCVs. It looks like MarineLord is focused on this attack here, as so is Petraeus. A lot of micros going on. These Zerglings aren't really being controlled, but they were really effective anyway. So we notice that the income is now 76 Harvesters to only 35 for Terran. At this point, Terran knows he has to take out a base from Zerg, or else he is in some deep trouble and is likely going to lose the game. So he's pushing the advantage. He's bringing up his units, even though they are weakened from Stim Pack, trying to do their best to take out these Banelings before they can morph, trying to get some hits off on the hatchery. Zerglings run in. The Terran is forced to stutter step back. This few group of Mutalisks is attacking as well. They're able to chase the Terran away, loading up in the medevacs, running away, and these Widowmines get cleaned up thanks to the sight from the Overseer. Small groups of Marines and Marauders are laid down. Reinforcements do come, and they're able to chase back the Zerg at this point, but right now it is Terran 2 base to Zerg 4 base, and 128 supplied and 90 for the Zerg. Terran is desperately pushing, trying to take out this third base as best they can, but more Banelings are morphing. This group is not very big and already low on health. Can they take out the Banelings before they morph? No. The Banelings rush in and do not actually get any hits. Excellent splits, excellent running back, good Widowmine hits from MarineLord. And the onslaught continues though. Banelings are taking out Widowmines, Mutalisk is taking out Widowmines. Low on health Marines are retreating, getting picked off by Zerglings that do have the 2-2 upgrade at this point, which makes them very effective at close range. Mutalisks are attacking back. There is a bunker here, which is enough to hold off the Mutalisk and the Zergling attack. I think that was enough Banelings to take it out, but Petraeus decided it was better to retreat at this point. I think he knows his advantage and just wants to make sure that he has enough army to get a decisive victory here. These queens are cut out in the open off the Crete. They're running as fast as they can, but there's a transfuse to keep that one alive, but eventually it does go down. There we go. Widowmines burrow themselves at the front. The Marines check for the presence of a 5th base, which would be really bad news for the Terran, but there isn't one there. 3 Marines at the front, more Banelings and Mutalisks and Zerglings coming in to clean this up. Again, the splits are good for MarineLord, but he is just playing, unfortunately, the short game, as more Zerglings are running into the main base, taking out reinforcing Marines who are all alone and overwhelmed by these Zerglings. They are taking out production structures, again, not being microed much at all. This final group, I think, is pretty much all that we're going to have left at this point. They are forced to retreat. MarineLord puts the boost on the medevacs, sends them back towards the third base. These Marines are still taking out reinforcing Marines. Just really effective use of the Zergling counterattack against Terran. I assume these Widow Mines will clean them up eventually, but there's a major attack here with Banelings, Zerglings, and Mutalisks at the third base. They're able to take it out, lock it down. MarineLord says GG, and Game 1 goes to Petraeus. So, pre-action-packed and back-and-forth Zerg versus Terran there. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you do, hit like there down below. You can also subscribe to my channel to catch these daily Blizzard uploads. I am on Twitter and Facebook at /FalconPaladin at both social networking sites. And, as always, until next time, you take care of yourself. This is Falcon Paladin.